Here we are at exercise 13 of Learn Python 3 the Hard Way, and we get to do something new. All right, we've done some input from users. We've done a lot of printing, a lot of formatting. We know how to do variables. Now we're going to see how to get input from a user in another way. So we've been running Python from the command line like this. And remember, there's also commands we've been running, right? So if I do ex1 asterisk.py, right? And when we run these commands, we have this extra thing we pass to it, these arguments. So that's kind of a way to get input from a user as well. We would like to be able to do that in our little Python scripts. It's a very useful thing. So Python has a feature for that. It's called argv. Argv means argument vector or variable, depending on who you talk to and how old they are. In this case, what we're going to do is this new thing called from and import. So from sys import argv. Now, you don't have to totally understand this right now. The idea is you're getting a taste of it. But from sys import argv, just think of that as a magic incantation, and when you do that, you can then get command line arguments from somebody. Okay? So once you do that, you're basically saying, Python, from the sys system module, I want you to import the argv feature. And that's very simplified, but that's just good enough for now. Okay, we'll get way more into this and you'll learn to make your own in a little bit, or maybe not a little bit, towards the end of the book. So when we do that, okay, we're going to get from argv, we're going to get 4 variables. We only need 3, but just as sort of a historical convention of how computers run scripts, we also get this extra one, which is the name of the script. All right, and then we're going to print those variables out. So let's do that. Let's do Python, and we're going to do ex13.py, and we're going to do, let's do apple, orange, and dragon fruit. All right, so see what I got, okay, and here, let me side by side these and do this one over there. All right. So what I got, I ran Python ex13 apple, orange, dragon fruit. So that's what I ran. These are my 3 arguments. This argument gets mapped up to this argument. And this argument gets mapped up to this. And this one gets mapped up to this one. Okay? So we're mapping, Python is mapping each of those. Now script here is just included for free. Okay? You get that script there. So when we come and look at the output, we see script is printed here, and it also, there we go. That's the name of our script. And apple, that's the first. Orange is second, and dragon fruit is the third. That's pretty much it. Now we can do command line options. Now let's look at some ways to break this. So if we do Python ex13.py, nothing to it, like no arguments, nothing. What happens? Well, our Python script is explicitly requesting 3 values, okay? But we get the script for free. We get the extra script for free, or we have to take the script. It's not even free, it's forced on us. So that means we're expecting 4 things, but we give it none. So what we get is expected 4, but got 1. Even though we only typed 3, we're actually typing 4. That's a way to think about that. So let's try giving just 2. Let's do that. So expected 4, only got 3. So no matter what, we have to do those. We have to do all 4 of them. And we can do that, and we're good. Okay, that's the most common error when people run this. There's other things we can do. So let's say we modify this to only have 2 arguments. Okay. So we're going to run into 2 errors. I'm just going to get rid of that because we'll get an error on line 8 too as well. But let's do this. Okay, so now run that. Too many values to unpack. So the first error was not enough values to unpack. And the next one is too many values to unpack. It expected only 3. We gave it 4. Now, if we fix that, we give it the 2 plus script makes 3. It's then going to come to our favorite error, third is not defined. And that's because we got rid of it. It's not assigned at all. Now, what is argv? So you have a question. You want to know what that thing is. And remember, you cannot figure out what things are, what's going on in the computer, by looking at them. What you have to do is you have to print them. Print, print, print. Always be printing. That's what you should be doing. Every time you say, I don't know what's going on, you print variables and you print messages that show the program running. So let's see what argv is. Oh. And I'm going to do repr argv. Oh, and I got to do one more. And actually, let me scroll up to that original so we can see what we got. Okay, here's our debug line. And what do we see? That's right. That looks kind of like parameters, like when you called functions in other things or when you called functions in print. See how we have the commas here, right? It's almost like we're doing this, or that, and this. It's almost like we're doing that, but that's not proper syntax for Python. So we'll find out what this thing is in a later exercise. But for now, it's just a list. And what Python's doing is it takes the arguments off the command line and puts them into a list called argv. And then what you're doing is you're exploding, you're busting those out into each of these variables. That's the simplest explanation for now. Don't worry, you'll learn more about it later. Just sort of keep that in the back of your mind while you continue. If you're curious about it, you can mess with that list and find out what to do to it. All right, that's the end of exercise 13. Remember, you should be pretty solid with most of this stuff. Try breaking this, try seeing what other modules you might be able to import. Try looking at that. That might be very interesting. And in general, just keep on going. I'll see you at exercise 14.